Okay, then the second point was a choice. In the messages, it's not written as such here, but in the messages, the word choice itself came over and over. Let us choose how we want to manage our family life. Let us have the right, this is also a Swedish quote, let us have the right to choose for ourselves. We are intelligent adults and more often than not capable of making the right decisions for our own family. Surely it is for us to decide who is the most suitable to take care of our children. The state may well have a good childcare system, but we who choose alternative care should not be punished for it. Stay-at-home moms are looked on as strange in our Swedish society. The most obvious and natural thing for a mother is to want to take care of her children. Society is reprogramming us to think otherwise. What is the point of having children if you have to leave them at daycare from 7 in the morning to 5 at night and have others raise them? This is a very strong quote, and we had many of those. Okay, now time. It is the second most important issue, with 32% of messages talking about time and work-family balance. Another Swedish quote, I feel trapped in a feminist crusade where I and my free will do not exist. Society is reprogramming us to think that we can only work and have our children raised by others. I am young and could work outside our home when the children are older. Right now I miss out on their childhood, and their picture of mom is a stressed out woman who does not prioritize them but goes to work. Mothers' messages to policymakers are a wealth of ideas that need to be transmitted. We need to act as the voices of mothers. And for example, what matters to mothers about an effective work-family balance policy? It should provide options and allow families to resolve their own family balance as a function of their priorities and their situation. It should not assume that all families are alike. It should recognize the seasonality in lives of mothers and fathers, and this will result in flexibility of policy options. What matters to mothers about their presence in the labor market? Part-time jobs are hard to find. Mothers need help to re-enter the labor market after an absence. Mothers need flexibility in their career. Competencies acquired by managing a family should be taken into account when re-entering the labor market. From the messages of mothers to policymakers, we elaborated some recommendations to the policymakers about the issues mentioned by mothers. We think that policymakers should listen, because mothers represent a big group of electors, and that's what they think. We will talk about the choice and options, the season, but very briefly, the tax policies, the part-time jobs, unpaid family care work, gender equality, and returning to the labor force. Family policies should accompany the desire of mothers and fathers and not make the choice for them. The state's role should be to offer options from which parents may choose. To ensure favorable work-family balance, policies should take into account the season of childbearing and child-rearing, considering that the large majority of European mothers want to take care of their own children whenever they are at home. After the childbearing and child-rearing years, because of the life expectancy and the health conditions, mothers have still many years to devote to a career, be active in the labor market, and bring to it much useful experience. Taxes. Tax policies should make it possible for families to survive on one full-time earner and one full and one part-time earner to accommodate the periods when mothers want to provide care for their children. Special adaptation, of course, is needed for single-parent families. Taxation system could be made more family-friendly. There are some countries in Europe where taxation is much more family-friendly than in others. It could allow income splitting system and could increase deductions for dependents, and it could reduce the VAT on childcare services and goods. In a time of crisis, we don't know whether that will be possible or not, but that's something we are advocating a lot. Employers should offer more part-time opportunities and find creative ways to increase flexibility. In the Netherlands, for instance, the recognition and availability of part-time work for both men and women make the work-family balance easier and also a lot less expensive to the taxpayer. Unpaid care of family members in the home should be recognized. Including it in the calculation of GDP would help to better recognize its importance. And once its importance is recognized, that maybe one effect should be to include career breaks for family care purposes in the calculation of pensions. Ensure equal opportunities and salaries for women and men, parents and non-parents, according to education, experience and responsibility. Understand that equality does not mean sameness. While involvement of both parents are essential in the family, I really like the statement of Jonas Himmelstrand about the equality of both parents, is that involvement should be calculated over 18 years and not 18 months. Family policies should focus on gender equality and family policy that focus on gender equality should be studied to be sure that there are no unintended consequences, such as increasing gender segregation and gender pay gap in the employment. Mothers returning to the labor force should be facilitated. This is one of our biggest priority, and higher education should be made available for returning mothers. So, what do we do now? We want to disseminate the results to policymakers. That's what we do at the European Union. 700 of these brochures were delivered to European members of parliament with some reaction, not many, but some. We want to work with employers and social partners about the re-entry of mothers in the labour market, about the flexibility and family-friendly companies. There are a lot of things being done on local level in specific companies, and we would like to gather these social innovations and good solutions to make them available to other companies, for example. We are working on the public opinion, because the general public, you and I, if we acknowledge the importance of the role of parents and fathers and mothers, employers and policymakers will follow. There is something else about the results of the survey that is important, and I just wanted to tell you about it. This survey gave a large number of mothers who answered the questionnaire, and those also who voluntarily helped at different stages, the opportunity to contribute to the political debate and have their voices heard. MMM started a channel of communication between mothers and policymakers. And we really hope that it gave mothers the strength and desire to continue to participate in a societal debate on issues affecting them and their families. If this happened, this might be the most lasting and most important effect of this survey. Well, I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anne-Claire. So we have a little time extra here now, so we actually have a little room for questions. If there's anybody who would like to ask a question to Anne-Claire here right now. Yes, I'll go there.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting. Though I'm a pediatrician myself since 40 years, and I'm interested to know, did you have any questions about the fathers and the background of the fathers, what they were doing, and in relation to the respondents? Thank you.
Of course. To tell you the truth, we didn't have any specific questions about the fathers, but we had many questions about the satisfaction and the well-being of mothers in their lives. And we had one question at the beginning about how many of them were in a partnership, what many of them were married, and the percentage is totally in the line of the Eurofound statistics. But about the father, when in the open questions, the mothers will talk a lot about the absence or the presence of father. And we had a whole lot of questions you will see here about who helps the mother. And you will see that the father is the one person where the mothers find the most help. So the father was really present in there in a report with the mother, with her well-being. But the subject of the survey was really the well-being of mothers. So of course fathers are important, and in the satisfaction question, it was very, very clear that when the relationship with the father was strong and harmonious and stable, the degree of satisfaction was much higher. So it's a very important issue, of course.
Thank you. Anyone else? So the question is, some of the statistical tables do not add up to 100, some to a little more and some to a little less when it comes to the time use. And I think, maybe there could be an explanation here.
You're talking about the charts that I'm showing there?
Yes.
Like the pyramids and... Here. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, it's maximum is 70%. And
what do you mean?
The scale.
This is 100%?
It looks like there's a lot of people that like to combine.
So, but that's because we designed a chart like this, but when you add up all the percentage, you have 100% of answers.
That's my point, is that you can always show with the numbers whatever you like to show.
I don't understand.
I think the question is here about that you've got a scale from 0 to 70 on the left corner, and this makes it looks like then that there is a bigger group wanting to combine than there actually is. So it's just that it's just the scale.
Oh yeah, well, I could have been higher, but it says 63%. So
yeah, but if you only look at the picture, it looks like it's a lot of people.
Yeah, I could, but yeah, visually. Okay.
I think I'll have.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I understand your point.